put down on the algorithm.
Oh, totally. I believe it.
But they could have killed flat Earth a long time ago if they wanted to. I think they wanted the conflict that it brought, if
You
not
know,
something more that we haven't figured
the
out.
truth is too strong on that one. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that argument.
So they played into it. Why would Obama say we don't have time for every meeting of a flat Earth? If he didn't want it to be a topic people talked about, he never would have mentioned it. Not that he was coming up with that idea. He was told to say
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why was he told to say that?
It's one
Many,
of
many
those.
times over.
It's to discredit. Sometimes the
It
big
doesn't
guys talk
discredit.
about it to discredit.
It doesn't, but it was never going to be a thing if he hadn't brought it up, or if other people hadn't brought it up, like Kyrie Irving and whoever else. It wouldn't be a thing that people look into. There's no reason to discredit something that hasn't even grown yet. It only grew because of the negative press, as well as the people finding out. People looked into it, even like the Beyond the Curve, or Beyond the whatever the Netflix movie that's people claim is just a hit piece, which it is, but not really, not enough to
It's all a hit
people.
piece.
It is, but people might look into it for themselves just by having that resource to know that it's something people actually, it's a thing. A lot of people have a hard time even acknowledging that it's a thing, let alone look into it. But we're past that point now. Everybody knows it's a thing. And then people that are interested to find out for themselves will look into it. But they probably had a lot of litmus tests and control groups and tests and how people might receive this information, just in case it got out, or in preparation for it to get out. And they know that there's only going to be like 1 out of 10 people that really want to know. 9 out of 10 people would rather not know. Plus, I almost think that they did it strategically so that when they brought around the cocoa and the jab, that they knew that if they let flat Earth flourish a little bit before that nobody around us is going to be listening to us by now. So like when it really matters that they listen to us, now they're not, because if they accept what we're saying about the jab, that means we might be right about the flat, and they don't want to admit that. So it's the perfect strategy when you think about it, if it was in their planning.
That was really well put, honestly.
Thanks. True, huh? Seems like.
Yeah.
Maybe. Either way.
It's hard to refute it.
Either way, it's the information age. So we're within World War III, the information war, right? The data collection is part of the war. They want to digitize everybody. That makes sense because the digital age wants that. The efficiency requires that to whatever extent it can. Mass depopulation? I don't know. Does that really serve them? Does that really work for them? I don't know.
Seems it does if they want it to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if it really works for them though, because it's like people, the more people, the more food, right? The more people to prey on and use.
They just don't want a group of people becoming large enough to make a conscious rebellion and rebel.
Well, that would never happen anyway. That can't happen because they already saturate everything so much.
Bingo! It's part of the game. Like if there was a company like Amazon that was for the good and not for the bad, like Amazon, and they were able to like gather a resistance group together and overthrow what was going on. They were big enough to be able to large a sizable amount of force to make some kind of change like that, but they don't want to.
Well,
You
they
know,
may want to. They probably will do that. In fact, they'll probably make it seem like some kind of grassroots effort, like they did with BLM or Antifa. These are all controlled groups anyway.
yeah, the founders of BLM was the Soroses, man, and
Yeah,
that
it's
was for
all fiction
mischievous
anyway,
means. It's
right?
not like
So they're going
they're
to do
trying.
that anyway. They'll give us the fake revolution through some group that actually stands up for their rights, like we're trying to do. But it'll be led by some shill, and they'll make some demands that will be like you know destructive enough that that they have a chance to like get away after they've gotten everything they wanted. They're like, okay, you won, haha, great, you won, have your revolution because we've got everything we want. Now go ahead, pick up the pieces if you don't want us in charge anymore.
Hmm.
Right? It'll give them perfect escape is the problem. Like we want to demand that they tell us the truth, or we want to demand that they give us justice, but then we're asking them for justice. So that still puts them in control. What they want is for us to be so pissed that we don't even want them in control anymore, and they can act like they go away, like the Roman Empire did, or any other empire that escapes but stays in control secretly underground. Maybe I'm not being very optimistic, but at least we'll have a fake revolution, and it'll be televised. That's the way that they can harness our spirits, though. Or at least seem to make us think that we won a little bit. We have to. That's what they want. They want a revolution. It's all baked into this whole thing. That's why they're giving us the real information about how bad things are, as well as the fake information, so that there'll be a revolution of some sort. And part of it will be organic. I mean, we're pissed. We don't want our rights taken away from us. We don't want to be forced to do anything. So,
How much of an organic revolution do you think we're gonna have?
well, I'm just saying it won't be organic, but there'll be organic parts to it. Kind of like flat Earth. Maybe flat Earth isn't really organic. Maybe they allowed it or even rolled it out.
And that's what's so weird about believing in flat Earth, because we would want to think flat Earth is organic. I mean, you look at where we live and so many proofs, but how are you gonna wake them up to the rest of it? It's tough.
Well, what would happen anyway? And they want that. They want us. I mean, we're doing them a service by waking people up. I don't know what that. It's just like It's all about. There's a book came out in the '60s called. It's about mass. It's called. Oh, I'm sorry. Now it's but it's about mass movements. It was a big book that this guy wrote. It was all about how to create mass movements and what types of people are going to participate in these mass movements and how they are useful.
Wow. Relocating people?
It's just the influencing groups of people and how they influence each other and how you can move whole industries at your will by putting the right people in the right places.